Episode 54. But I have one final wish, Tanhua. Please find out who ruined our father's company and get justice for us. I love you both as if you were my own family, but I can't go on any longer. I'm tired. Thank you for all the love you gave me. Goodbye. As soon as Tanhua finished reading, her tears fell, soaking the letter. Clack. Clack. So the woman at the mall, Jingbeo's girlfriend, the one who had taken Mi Shu's fiancé, was her own older sister? But at the same time, she wasn't really her sister. She had worked so hard carrying this burden alone, doing whatever it took, just to protect them. For years after their father passed away, she had taken care of 2 children who weren't even her real siblings. She had sacrificed her youth, her dignity, and her happiness. All for them. Tanhua clutched the letter tightly. Sis, her tears wouldn't stop as she broke down, crying out in pain. At Nan Shen's mansion. That day, Nan Shen immediately brought Tanhua back to his house, seeing her condition worsen after the sudden loss of her older sister. He knew it must be devastating for Tanhua. Tanhui was the only family she had left, and now she was gone, leaving behind a mystery and a huge debt. Even the strongest person would struggle with losing their only family, right? Nan Shen sighed. He didn't just bring Tanhua, he also brought Shen Ling. After all, neither of them had any money, and whatever savings Tanhui had would be used for her funeral. Now, these 2 had nowhere else to go. You do realize she's a girl, right? Shen Ling, who had been silent for a while, suddenly dropped a bombshell, making Nan Shen choke on his tea. What are you talking about? Nan Shen wiped his mouth, trying to calm down. Tanhua was asleep after crying for hours, so he made sure not to wake her. The way you care for her, it's obvious you see her as a girl. Otherwise, you wouldn't be this kind to her, Shen Ling remarked, before taking a sip of his own tea. He had seen how Nan Shen treated Tanhua when she broke down earlier. The concern, the protectiveness, it was clear he wasn't treating her like just another friend. So, you know the truth too, Nan Shen said after a pause. Since Shen Ling seemed certain there was no point in denying it. Yeah, I know she's a girl and why she has to disguise herself, Shen Ling replied with a shrug. Now that he had confirmation, he wondered if he should tell Tanhua or keep quiet. As if reading his thoughts, Nan Shen narrowed his eyes and gave a firm warning. Don't ever tell her that I know. She's already going through too much. Just let her decide whether she wants to continue living this way or embrace her real identity again. Nan Shen was worried. If Tanhua found out that her secret was already exposed, it might add to her stress. He still didn't know whether she wanted to keep up the disguise, or if she was ready to live as herself now that the reason behind it was gone. I won't tell her, Shen Ling muttered before standing up. It was time to find a job. Now that Tanhua was gone, no one but Tanhua could cover their expenses. It was his turn to step up. Nan Shen sighed as Shen Ling left, but soon after, he went to check on Tanhua. By then, Tanhua had woken up, though she was too exhausted to cry anymore. She had come to realize something: no matter how much she cried, no matter how long she grieved, Tanhui wouldn't come back. Now, there were things she had to deal with. Crying wouldn't solve anything. She realized how sheltered she had been, first by her parents in her old world, and then by Tanhui. She had lived an easy life, never knowing the struggles Tanhui had faced. The debt, Tanhua whispered as she lay on her bed. This was troubling her the most. She knew the debt collectors would find her sooner or later. They wouldn't care that she wasn't really Tanhui's sister. They only wanted their money back. Right now, money was the most urgent issue. Everything else, even revenge, came second. She needed money. 10 million. How could she possibly come up with that? Something inside Tanhua was changing after Tanhui's death. She was heartbroken. She regretted her ignorance. She hated how powerless she had been. But she knew she had to change. There were so many things she didn't know, but now she had no choice but to learn. Even if it meant making sacrifices. She already had an idea in mind, but she needed someone's help. Clack. Tanhua Nan Shen opened the door and slowly approached her bed, thinking she was still in deep sorrow. He was prepared for the worst, expecting her to refuse food or isolate herself. Nan Shen had braced himself for the worst, but instead he saw Tanhua sitting up. Her eyes were red and swollen, but she didn't look as defeated as before. Nothing, Nan Shen muttered, suddenly suspicious. For some reason, it felt like Tanhua had been waiting for him. Big bro. I actually have a proposal for you. Without any warning, Tanhua knelt on the bed, catching Nan Shen off guard and nearly making him lose his balance. What? A proposal? What proposal? Nan Shen's mind instantly went to marriage, making him awkwardly cough to hide his embarrassment. You know I'm in debt, so I want to borrow money from you. I'll pay it back, of course. Tan Hua's face turned red with embarrassment. The fastest way to get that much money was to borrow it, and she had a wealthy CEO right in front of her. But asking her boss for money felt awkward. She was no one to Nan Shen, yet here she was, asking for such a huge amount. Nan Shen's expression turned serious. This was a matter of money, and as a professional CEO, he had to take it seriously. I can lend it to you, but how do you plan on paying me back? Your salary as an office assistant won't be enough to cover that much $10 million. Nan Shen tapped his fingers on the table, getting to the main point. He was willing to lend her the money, but business was business, he needed something in return. I'll become a designer and pay you back gradually, Tan Hua said firmly, already having a plan for her future. She knew she wasn't skilled at anything else, so she had to focus on what she was good at, designing. But now, she also had to learn about business. How about you become a designer for my company? I'm sure your work will sell well. I'll take only 30% of the profit, and the rest you can use to pay off your debt. How does that sound? Nan Shen suggested this idea, thinking it would be beneficial for both of them. If Tan Hua worked in his company, she could live as a girl without worry. He could even introduce her as his girlfriend, which would keep his parents from getting suspicious about their relationship. Not only that, but Tan Hua would have financial stability, a successful career, and the opportunity to become a famous designer. At the same time, his company would grow internationally. It was a win-win situation. It's a good idea, but I have a plan to create my own brand. Tan Hua took a deep breath and revealed her real goal. She wanted to establish her own brand. Nan Shen's expression immediately turned worried. Not because he was against it, but because he knew the harsh reality women in this world weren't allowed to own companies or brands. Even someone as talented as Mishu worked as a designer instead of running her own company. She could have built a brand, but she didn't because society wouldn't accept it. This world was unfair to women. If Tan Hua insisted on creating her own brand, she would have to continue living as a man, at least for a few more years. Until her company became big enough, she wouldn't be able to reveal her true gender. If people found out the owner was a woman, they would turn against her, and the company could collapse. I want to change things. I don't want my life to stay like this, Tan Hua said softly. She could have taken the easy path, the one Nan Shen offered, but she didn't want to. She remembered why she had come to this world in the first place. She was here to create change. This society was cruel to both women and marginalized communities. Her sister had suffered because of this system. Without a good education, she had been left with no options, leading to despair. If Tan Hua built her own company, she could help others like her sister. No matter how rich she became, she couldn't change the world without creating opportunities for others. That was one reason. The other was love. She cared for this strong yet kind CEO. And in the future, she knew that if she didn't have a high enough status, it would be hard to stay by his side. Being a successful designer wouldn't be enough. Rich families always preferred alliances with other powerful families. If she wanted to be with Nan Shen, she needed to stand on equal ground. She wanted to build her own empire, not just to prove herself, but to be able to support him as well. Seeing the determination in Tan Hua's eyes, Nan Shen let out a deep sigh. He didn't dislike the idea, but it meant waiting longer for her to reveal her true identity. He only wanted her to live a comfortable life, but she had chosen to carve her own path instead of walking the one he had prepared for her. Not bad. Actually, it moved him. Not many women had this mindset. Most would rather marry a rich man and enjoy a comfortable life. But Tan Hua wanted to create her own success. And for that, he admired her even more. This girl truly unique. Sigh if this was her wish, then all he could do was support her financially until she could stand on her own 2 feet. When that day came, he would witness how she made the world shine in her own way. I understand. So, what is your plan? Nan Shen was taken aback by Tan Hua's sudden change. She was usually carefree, but now she shone like a star. Who said this girl was clueless? She simply lacked the motivation to push herself. But once she found it, she could take the world by storm. I will create my own brand. But since I don't have a company yet, I'll collaborate with yours. For every design I create, let's split the profit 50-50, since you'll be handling everything except the design. Tan Hua spoke seriously about the collaboration, knowing this was the first step toward building her own company. 50%? Let's make it 70% for you, and I'll only take 30%, Nan Shen said, rubbing his chin. Tan Hua's idea was solid, and working with her would bring great benefits to his company as well. He had a strong feeling that with Tanhua on board, his company could go international. Wait, what? You only want 30%? But your company will be covering all the expenses, the materials, marketing, everything. Tanhua looked at him, surprised by his generosity. How could he be this kind to her? She was already borrowing money from him, and now he was offering such a generous deal? Yes, 30% is enough. But let's make a contract for a 10-year collaboration. Even when you establish your own company, you'll still allow us to sell your designs. Nanshen smiled warmly as he suggested the long-term contract. He had his own reasons for this. With a 10-year agreement, he could keep her connected to his company, and by then, his brand would be strong enough to compete with Lanyan jeans. If Tanhua's designs became a trend, just having her name associated with his company would be enough to boost its growth. As long as he had the rights to produce and sell her designs before she launched her own company, he would gain a huge advantage. I see this benefits you as well, Nanhua nodded, realizing Nanshen's strategic thinking. Her designs would be something fresh, a completely new trend in the industry. Any company that introduced them first would enjoy lasting success, even when she eventually started her own production. Right now, she needed materials and workers to bring her designs to life. Once she made enough money, she could handle everything on her own. But with this 10-year contract, Nanshen's company would still have the right to sell her creations, just like a restaurant that shared its secret recipes with a branch. All right then. I'll prepare the contract tomorrow. You only need to read and sign it. But you're not allowed to work on any designs until you fully recover. Nanshen stood up from the bed and gently covered Tanhua with a blanket. He was relieved that she was safe, but it had only been a day since Tanhui's passing. She must still be grieving. She needed time to heal, both physically and emotionally. All right, Tanhua actually wanted to start working immediately, using it as a distraction from Tanhui's death. But with Nanshen being so protective, she had no choice but to wait. By the way, about your birth origins and your father's company. Do you want me to help? Just as he was about to leave, Nanshen paused at the door, looking back at her. With his resources, he could uncover the truth quickly about her real family and the case behind her stepfather's company's downfall. No, I want to do it myself. But thank you for offering, Tanhua said, shaking her head. She was curious about her past, but right now, she needed to focus on launching her brand. She had to choose a name, prepare as many designs as possible, and lay the foundation for her future. As for her past and revenge, she would leave that to Shenling. She could have asked Nanshen for help, but he had already done so much for her. She didn't want to burden him further. All right then. Just focus on recovering. Call me if you need anything. Nanshen knew Tanhua trusted Shenling more when it came to personal matters, so he reluctantly agreed. But still, who exactly was Shenling? To him, Shenling seemed more like family to Tanhua than just a friend. He knew things about her that even Nanshen didn't. And that thought was irritating. A fashion revolution. No, it's not weird. It's the first step of a revolution. Tanhua immediately refuted Nanshen's words about women wearing pants being unusual. In her world, it was completely normal. Well, I haven't seen any company making pants for women. Now think would women be willing to wear them? They might find it strange too since no one has ever worn them before. Nanshen didn't mean to offend Tanhua, but this was the reality. When marketing the product, they would need models. The real question was whether models would be willing to wear something so new and different. This wasn't just another design, it was a revolution. It doesn't matter. I can be the model for my own designs. I bet the product will be a total hit. Just watch, big bro, I'm about to change the world. Tanhua looked at Nanshen with determination. She was ready to revolutionize fashion. Women not allowed to wear pants? She would change that. Men avoiding pink? She would change that too. The current fashion was too formal. She would bring something fresh and exciting. Fine, up to you. Now, about the shoes. This is what you call flat shoes. It's unique. I've never seen anything like this before. But what about these sneakers? The name sounds unusual. Nanshen raised his hands in surrender. This girl was unstoppable, there was no convincing her otherwise. But aside from the idea of women wearing pants, the rest of her designs were extraordinary. Even the top designers in the industry wouldn't have come up with something this bold. These weren't just new designs, they were about to change the fashion world forever. She was about to set the industry on fire. These sneakers are unisex. Both men and women can wear them. They're meant for everyday wear since I'm going for a casual concept. Well, Big bro doesn't know this concept yet, so I understand your confusion. Tan Hua's eyes sparkled with excitement. She was confident this would be a big hit. Aside from jeans, sneakers were her secret weapon. She and Nan Shen's company would be the first to introduce them to the market. She was sure they would set the trend, and even if other companies copied them in the future, their company would always be the original. She was thrilled to be making a change. This would be a huge breakthrough for the fashion industry. I see. These designs are really interesting. Even the length of the jeans varies, so people who prefer more coverage will have options too. You're a genius. Nan Shen nodded as he examined the designs again. Even though the jeans used an unusual material, he was eager to try them. The sneakers were exciting as well, and the sleeveless shirts for both men and women would be perfect for summer. Yup. And I've also developed an evolved version of these jeans. I call them ripped jeans. They give off a stylish and confident vibe. You know, the cool and effortless look. Tan Hua giggled as she saw Nan Shen getting drawn into her designs. She could tell he was already imagining trying them out himself. You'll wear that version too? Nan Shen raised an eyebrow, remembering that she had said she would model her own designs. Well, of course. I'll wear every design I launch. Tan Hua shrugged as she browsed the internet for inspiration for her brand name. She had completed the designs, found the female model, though not the male one yet, and now, the last step was to name her brand. Once she finalized it, Nan Shen's company could begin production and launch the collection. This was going to be her brand's debut, so the name had to be perfect. While Tan Hua was deep in thought, Nan Shen, on the other hand, was lost in his imagination. He had heard her say she would wear all the designs. That meant she would wear the off-shoulder tops, short pants, and ripped jeans too, right? Not that he was thinking anything inappropriate, but he had to admit, she would look amazing in those clothes. Still struggling? Noticing the girl beside him was silent while he was lost in thought. Nan Shen stood up from the sofa and approached Tan Hua. Yes, but I already have an idea. How about Louvre? Tan Hua smiled as she came up with a brand name that sounded elegant yet carried a hidden meaning. Louvre. Love for love, and re for repetition, symbolizing the start of a new fashion era. Oh, it sounds luxurious. It's good, Nan Shen nodded in agreement. Even though the products under this brand would mostly be new and unique, rather than overly classy, the brand name had a nice ring to it. Louvre. He already liked it. Yeah, this will be the brand name. Now we are ready, Tan Hua smiled happily as she got up from her chair. They had the brand name, the designs were done, and now all they needed was to produce the clothes. All right, wait for a week until the first batch is ready. When the time comes, you will be the model for your own designs, right? Nan Shen handed Tan Hua's designs to Wu Yin, who had just arrived, and instructed him to deliver them for production. Yes, I will be the model. As for the male model, I pick Shen Ling. We'll go with a blonde-haired look and design a matching set for couples, Tan Hua said excitedly, sharing her plan with Nan Shen. Wait, what? Picking Shen Ling? A couple's theme? Nan Shen's calm expression darkened slightly when he heard the name Shen Ling. Shen Ling would be modeling with Tan Hua? Both of them in coordinated outfits posing as a couple? What kind of joke was this? Shen Ling, don't you have any other options? Nan Shen tried to remain composed. He knew that established male models might not be willing to take on the job of promoting a new brand, especially one with such unconventional designs. But still, did it have to be Shen Ling? Which model would agree to model for my brand? Only smaller names would be interested, and even then, they might hesitate to wear such unique designs. Tan Hua shrugged, stating the reality of the situation. She had chosen Shen Ling because he was already familiar with the casual style and looked great in it. Plus, his blonde hair matched hers, making them visually appealing as a pair. Fine, I get it, Nan Shen admitted begrudgingly. He didn't know why hearing Shen Ling's name irritated him so much. It was the same feeling he got when Tan Hua mentioned Lan Yanjin. Was he becoming overly sensitive? Lately, he seemed to get annoyed way too easily. Nan Shen could only grumble silently as he allowed Tan Hua to use Shen Ling as the male model for her brand. A small part of him had hoped she would choose him instead, but a CEO as a model? Impossible. 1 week later, the day had arrived. The clothes were ready for production, and now it was time to market them. Nan Shen had arranged for a photographer and a makeup artist to ensure that Tan Hua was fully prepared before stepping in front of the camera. This was the day Tan Hua and Shen Ling would officially model the brand. At first, Tan Hua was about to follow the makeup artist to get her look done and wear the clothes prepared by Nan Shen's company. But Shen Ling suddenly stopped her. All right, I'll handle her makeup and hairstyle, Shenling said firmly, glaring at Nan Shen as if questioning his decision-making. How could he risk revealing that Tan Hua was a girl, especially on the very day her designs were being launched? Sure, no one knew that Tan Hua was the designer behind the brand, but still, it was better to be cautious. What? But the makeup artist was stunned and turned to look at Nan Shen for confirmation. She had been hired to transform this short boy into a girl for the campaign. Why was she suddenly being replaced? Do whatever you want, but I expect perfection. If not, you'll bear the consequences, Nan Shen said through gritted teeth, reluctantly allowing Shenling to take over. Huh. As if this man knew anything about makeup and hairstyling. He was probably just setting himself up for failure. Hey, Shenling, can you even do makeup? Tan Hua asked skeptically as she was dragged into a separate room. They were going with the narrative that she was a boy being transformed into a girl for the shoot. Didn't that require serious makeup skills? Enough to make people believe she was still a boy disguised as a girl rather than an actual girl? She had to look as feminine and as beautiful as possible, but still. Don't worry. I've already learned everything I need, Shenling reassured her. While Tan Hua had been recovering a month ago, Shenling had spent his time learning how to style hair and apply makeup. His goal? To become either a model, a makeup artist, or a hairstylist. Now was the perfect chance to put his skills to the test. This was his moment not just to help Tan Hua, but also to take a step forward in his own career. He refused to let this opportunity slip away. Seeing the determination in Shenling's eyes, Tan Hua could only try to believe in him. All right, I believe in you. Oh, and remember, I won't wear a wig. Let my hair be natural. Tan Hua sat down on the chair in front of a mirror, waiting for Shenling to work his magic. 30 minutes later. Tap, tap, tap. Tan Hua and Shenling had both changed into the brand's outfits and walked into the studio, drawing the attention of several staff members. Wow, what a great outfit. The one on that blonde girl is so cute. She's wearing pants, but it looks stylish and effortless. One of the staff members passing by couldn't help but stop and stare. Tan Hua now wore short denim jeans that showcased her slender legs, paired with a plain white off-shoulder top, subtly revealing her shoulders. She accessorized with the necklace Nan Shen had given her when she once pretended to be his girlfriend, adding a touch of elegance to her simple yet chic outfit. The ensemble was minimalistic and comfortable, yet it had an effortless charm that made it perfect for summer. Not only that, but Tan Hua also wore her own design adorable white flats that complemented her outfit perfectly. Her hair was styled into a short ponytail, giving her a fresh and energetic look. Her makeup was light and natural, enhancing her beauty without appearing overdone. The guy beside her is really handsome too. A foreigner? His outfit looks amazing. Is that a new design as well? Another staff member murmured, shifting their gaze toward Shenling.